Howdy folks, my name's Darren from RC Scale Models, and today we've been taking a look at this new kit from Tamiya. It's the 135 scale M18 Hellcat. Let's do this. So what we get inside this one is this side of the box of one of the markings. And this side, kit number I believe is 376. We have this side of the box, we do get a figurine of the commander probably. This side, the standard opening box, normal top opening box. So you got your worksheet, history and colour guide, tips and tricks, markings. 1, 2, you have 3, 4, 5 and 6 sprues and a tiny one there. So this is all the paperwork and markings. So we'll take a look at that. I say there's tips and tricks. I think this pretty comes standard now. It's pretty good for beginners. Colour callouts and your history. Some people have mentioned, I've read, they're saying this yellow marking is wrong, it should be white, the same as this one. But I'm not too sure about that, I don't know, I can't comment on that. But the one I do build, I want to build this one because I do like this symbol with the Hellcat logo. They're both based on Italy in 1945. Around that time you got obviously history on the Hellcat in English and in Japan, I believe it would be Japan, or was it China, not sure. But as for the kit itself, typical instructions, all your tools needed, pretty much going to be Tamiya tools as they call that for, and Tamiya paint. So straight off the bat you got I and B version, so there is some slight differences, so you're going to have to pick now as you work your way along. So I'm going to be building the B version. So straight off the bat we have the lower hull, inside internal fighting compartment, and then we have the back part which is part of the bulkhead for the engine, but obviously there is no engine, but the engine would be this side. Then we have the two sides to make up the lower section. Then we have the rear, we have parts of the suspension, both sides, and we have your bogie suspension arms going in. So it's going to be very straightforward, it's typical to me, it's just going to fall together, so it's going to be beautiful. And then more suspension arms as standard. We have return rollers going on, and then we have the drive road wheels, sorry, we should be going in. A couple of tools, I would leave them to the end. Two-piece wheels, doesn't look like any polycaps on these ones. We have more DIs or D clamps, or whatever you want to call them, for towing those circle things. I call them towing eyes. We have more road wheels, we drive sprocket, which gets done in 4 parts. That does have a polycap. And then you're touching your wheels as standard. The drive sprocket doesn't have any glue because it is polycapped, so you can adjust it. As for the tracks itself, you do get plastic tracks, so it's link and length tracks. So you've got length, link, length, and individual links for the curve. One big long length, so it should be pretty standard layout. So here each section is called out for both sides and what parts you need. I will hopefully try and replace these with metal tracks. I do have these tracks from Floral. I've had these a long time now. I have 2 sets of these. One I was going to use for the Academy kit for the Hellcat, and I know they fit, but I'm not too sure if they're going to fit for the new Tamiya. I'm hoping they are. If they do work, then it'd be a nice bonus. Then we have the side fenders, and we have what look like the cleaning rods, I believe. Front and part of the fenders, mud guards and stuff, getting attached on the lower section of the hull. There's a couple of parts you have to cut off. On the upper hull section we have the rear and engine decks, Pioneer tools. Again, I'll paint these separately and attach them towards the end. Mirrors going in, more tools, I'll leave that at the end. We have one of the decals going on the rear engine deck, so you're obviously going to want to paint that and put that on. We have light guards, lights, periscopes, that kind of thing all going in. This is the light guard assembly. We have the front cover, drive transmission part going in. A couple of detail parts around that, more grab handles. We have some optional parts here. A and B is slightly different. The lower section of the turret, we have some internal detail, some boxes. On the side wall of the cockpit we have more equipment and looks like an ammunition box. Lower and side walls going together, and then before attaching these boxes on the side you're going to have to apply your decals because it's going to overlap slightly on the box. Upper section of the turret, we are looking at the turret commander's ring type thing. It sits on the side slightly off to one set, and it houses the machine gun as well, like a 50 cal normally. We have the back part of stowage, I think is radio equipment can get stored in there. This looks like part of your gun assembly, and we've got more stowage and ammunition. Not 100% sure what that is though, but we have the breech going to assembly, pretty standard stuff, 2-piece. And it's the cradle, the back part of the breech, what looks like the catch basket for the shells, the gun mantle inlet. Attaching that from the front and sliding it through, we have more handles, and then we have this canvas cover going over the front, which is done in 3 parts, and your slide molded barrel, I believe. And then we have the actual turret basket being made with the seats, more detailed parts. Attaching that to the lower section there is an extra support piece to go in, and then your turret should slide on top hopefully. This is the 50 cal machine gun, comes in several parts, which does sit into that circle part. I was correct. A couple of more tools, spare tracks, tow cable going in. Not sure what they give you. Do they give you rope? I imagine it is rope. We've got more of those D-clamp things for towing, more cleaning rods, and then you've got your commander figure and his paint guide. You do get a square piece of paper which is a map, which I believe is this piece here. You cut this out the instructions and you can fold it and put it in his hand. Well, they might give you a coloured one. Did they give you a coloured one on here? No. So yeah, so cut this map out and you can say stick it in his hand. We do get a couple of shells, used and unused shells, some more ammo boxes. I am going to load up my vehicle with loads of equipment all over it, and that's that. As for the markings, quickly, typical Tamiya markings, nothing fancy, can be a little bit thick sometimes, but if you use Tamiya Mark Fit Strong, if you do have it, it goes down perfectly fine because it's designed for it. You can see these are slightly cut out for the side. I believe this one is for the engine deck. These are the ones on the front. This is the kit itself. So we have this sprue here, this is sprue D, and this is going to be a gun mantlet and part of the breech assembly here, part of the small turret for the machine gun, your figurine, your canvas part, lower part of the turret, slide moulded barrel, which you can see here. A little bit flexible that is though. Would have thought they would have had an attachment point up here. Here is your turret section, turret basket. So nicely moulded. You can see it's a weird shaped sprue. Turret doesn't look too bad. It's got weld beads and stuff on it. Figures in multiple parts. Tamiya are getting better at their figures, and they're pretty good for plastic. Here's his head and his legs. Canvas part doesn't look too bad. No doubt there'll be a resin replacement. There's one piece possibly out there. So here's his slide moulded barrel. Pretty good. Lower section of the turret doesn't look too bad. Parts of your breech look pretty good to me. Gun mantlet looks pretty good. Back parts of your turret. We have the diamond plating sections, which looks really good. Ammunition boxes, catch basket, and that small turret ring for the machine gun. That's pretty good. This one's a resealable bag. Tamiya with their staples. So we have sprue E, and this is all detail parts. We have suspension arms, Pioneer tools, fenders, engine deck covers, spare track, and seats and detail parts in general. So again, it looks pretty damn good. It is in this moulded in this green plastic. Suspension arms. Here are those fenders and part of the engine deck. Spare tracks inside a box. Detail parts. I also imagine a lot of this is inside the turret section, because it is an open turret after all. What piece we have here? Upper hull. It's a small sprue. This is sprue B, and this is the upper hull section. We have inside firewall towards the engine, the actual floor itself, engine, the rear of the tank, the transmission cover, and the back plate that goes along here. So there's the transmission cover, nicely moulded with large bolts. Back of the tank, and so is that. Inside the actual tank itself, with all the diamond plated sections. That's nicely done. Here's the rear of the tank, inside as well, and the actual upper section of the tank itself doesn't look too bad. It's definitely moulded differently to the Academy kit. It's moulded a different way. Theirs is done differently, but this is certainly nice. We do have the weld beads and weld seams moulded in, so it's pretty good. Nicely done to me. This is another bag. This is repeatable. We have sprue C, and now this is the actual lower hull section. So the lower hull, sides, and then the fenders. So it's not a bathtub hull. This is a three-piece. So pretty good detail again. We have those pins. These are here designed for the floor, because it's raised floor. I don't know what they store underneath the floor. I suppose imagine nothing, because it'd be, I don't know. Sides. This is the inside. This is the outer side. All your suspension arms would be attached to these segments. Pretty good. Side skirts. Nothing to say about them. Just long smooth pieces of plastic, couple of attachment points, and that's pretty good. We have the last two bags. This is sealed bag, and this is the wheels. And you've got your tow cable in here, which is a black rope. So it's nice they give you a black rope now instead of the white, which is before you used to have to paint it or dye it and do whatever, but now it's black. It's a little bit easier to work with. It seems to be like a nylon rope. That will work, but I prefer replacing it with metal cable. But that's definitely an improvement over the white one. Two sprues identical now, so we are going to need one of these. And this is sprue A. So we have your tracks and wheels, suspension arms down here, length track and individual links, length and length wheels. So here's part of your suspension arms, cleaning rods. The wheels look pretty damn good, moulded in tyres as well. Length of track, like I say, I am hoping to replace these with metal tracks. I'm hoping they're going to fit. I won't know until I've built them. Here's the other side of the track. Other length. Looks pretty damn good. And this is the upper section, and this is the lower section. Here's part of the drive sprocket. Here are the teeth and the rims for it. Smaller section of the track. Parts of your suspension arms, which are the springs, fuel covers, tow cables. There's those C clamps or D clamps or whatever you want to call them for the towing. Individual links. That looks pretty good. And last piece is the 50 cal. This is a generic 50 cal sprue because I've seen this before in multiple kits, and the clear parts as well. So we have clear, so it's a couple of periscopes and lights, nothing fancy. So this is the 50 cal part. So we have slide molded part for 50 cal. This segment you might want to drill these holes out a little bit more. But the actual barrels as well, not slide molded, but they are molded as one piece. So it's nicely done. The ammo boxes to go with it. So this piece is going to go onto here. That's pretty nice for plastic as well. So there you are, my friends, another kit from Tamiya. Absolute beautiful kit. It's going to go together nicely, nothing else to say. It's typical Tamiya, it's just going to fall together. It's 1/35 scale M18 Hellcat. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.